Right, so I went to see The End of Oak Street, and I'm going to say that this film is absolutely brilliant. I heard a lot of mixed reviews before going into it, so I kind of wanted to go into it like just with an open mind, and I was blown away by this movie. I thought this movie was absolutely fantastic. Now, I'm going to sort of go through spoilers and stuff in this. This is going to be a spoiler video, so if you haven't seen the film yet, go and watch the film, come back and watch this. Or if you're not really worried about it, just keep watching it. Or if you've seen it already, then stick along and see if you've got the same thoughts and feelings and theories that I have on this movie. So this movie is set in 1982. Although I thought all the way through the movie it was the 70s, but apparently it was set in 1982. Because of the clothing and that, I kept getting 70s vibes. And then at the end of the movie they say it's 1982. So I was kind of shocked by that because I was really thinking 76, 75, that sort of time. I was way off. Anyway, so it's about his family that are quite a normal sort of suburban family, but you start to see there's like cracks in that little family. As much as they are a lovely little family, there's issues going on with the husband and wife. There seem to be like a bit of bickering. The kids are picking up on it. There's something not always right with the world. Everyone else on the outside sees him as his lovely family, but they can see his little bit differences. The dad, as we find out, has basically lost his job and he's taking on pizza deliveries to try and sort of keep the family going. The mum's been writing a book, a novel, and it's kind of loosely based on her. And in the novel, the sort of character leaves the house and just wants to get away from the husband and the kids, which is kind of what she feels like she kind of wants to do as well. So there's a lot of that going on. And then you've got the two kids, a brother and a sister. They're the nicest kids in this, like, that could possibly be. They're quite a nice, like, friendly together. They're not sort of like arguing all the time. It's quite a nice, like, sibling, like, friendship, which is quite cool. So we've got this nice little family and we see them, we sort of get to know them a little bit, but there's weird things going on in the neighbourhood. So a plant randomly appears in one of the neighbours' gardens. It's a really bizarre looking plant. So when the wife goes to investigate at a local library to see if she can work out what type of plant it is, she can't work it out. And then randomly the librarian seems to be a paleontologist botanist. This is a woman that works in the library, goes, that's a plant from the dinosaur times. And it's like, how would you know that? How would that librarian know that's a plant from the dinosaur? She even gives it the name of the plant as well. I was like, what is... No, that's a bit far-fetched. It kind of threw me out of the movie for a second. It's like, there's no way she would know that. She's a librarian. However, when you see her house later, maybe she's not just a librarian, because her house is massive later. But anyway, let's get into that later. So, you got the family, and weird things start happening. And then suddenly, in one of the neighbours' back gardens, a big pile of dinosaur poo just sort of appears. And he originally thinks it's like the family with Ewan McGregor and... so I forgot to mention, Ewan McGregor is the dad in this, and Anne Hathaway is the mum. And he thinks it's their kids that are responsible for dumping this load of poo in his garden. They say it's not, but we'll help you clean it up, etc. So they are a genuinely nice people. The boy's having trouble with some like lads at school because he accidentally knocked the younger brother of one of these sort of like bully type lads off his bike. He knows he's going to get a kick in at some point. So he's trying to run away and avoid them. There's also a neighbour that's just newly moved into the school. This young girl that goes to a private school. And the boy kind of likes her from from afar. So then one night they'll go to sleep and then there's this bright light. They wake up and they're not in the same place they were before. So the entire neighbourhood has been transported back into the past during the time of the dinosaurs. I'm guessing the Cretaceous period. Been dumped in this sort of like foresty area in this dinosaur times. And now the dinosaurs start to invade the neighbourhood. And it's literally like... The thing that kind of gets me a little bit with this is the fact that the dinosaurs just start attacking the people. They don't attack each other like they normally would. They just randomly going after people in the neighbourhood and trashing the neighbourhood. And I was going, well, surely the dinosaurs will be after each other as well, but it doesn't matter. The dinosaurs in this movie look incredible. They've gone from more sort of like realistic as what we now believe dinosaurs would look like. So a lot of the dinosaurs have feathers on them instead of scales. They look a bit more bird-like. You know, so they don't look like your architectural, it's like a T-Rex type creature in this movie. It doesn't look like the Jurassic Park T-Rex. It looks a lot more bumpy, a lot more disjointed. There's like a Spinosaurus looking thing in this. Again, it looks more ruggedy, rigidy than the smooth looking one we see in Jurassic Park. And you can see there's a lot of influence from Jurassic Park in this movie. So we meet a few of the neighbours beforehand. There's like next door neighbour is a miserable git who's kind of like the complaining neighbour. There's the librarian that sort of lives in the area. There's an old lady that lives next door who's helping her out with the wife out with like writing her book and stuff like that. So you see a few of the neighbours. But I feel that this movie, there was stuff cut out. Maybe there's more before the jump into time where we get to know the neighbours more. Because later on we see the neighbours in a few different situations. And there seems like there's more going on that we missed. Especially when it comes to the boy and the kid that was like wanting to beat him up. Because he randomly appears later, starts beating up on the boy, then stops and goes, I'm so sorry, when the brother sort of pulls him off him. And like, then that goes away. We never go back to that whole story. It feels like there's something we're missing. I'm sure at some point, there must have been somewhere in this movie that they've cut out a scene where we see more of a relationship, or more of a drama build up between the bully sort of boy that beats him up and the brother and all that. And there's more to do with their story, because it seems like something tragic's happened to them. And I kind of want to know what happened to them. Yeah, things in this movie get explained way too easily. So when they get transported back in time, there's a scene where they're all sitting down as a family. The whole family just sitting around together. And the daughter's like, well, I've just read a book about wormholes, so I know that we've been transported back in time through a wormhole, and now we're here. But there might be other wormholes and ways to sort of like get back. And I'm like, that kid has just randomly read the book before. It's a bit too coincidental that the kid just read a book before this happened, and now it's happened, and now she knows the answer to why. Again with the librarian as well, it's a bit too coincidental that librarian happens to be a paleontologist botanist that worked in the library at the time to answer the questions that the wife had. So it's a bit too coincidental. However, so it's wormholes that have transported back in time. Now we might see more wormholes later that could possibly take them back, which they do find wormholes later and they realise they can get back through them if they can find them. But because it's so random, there's no way of knowing where these wormholes are going to turn up. So again, the dinosaur attacks in this movie are phenomenal. Like, obviously this is a movie that is in America a PG-13, but they really sort of like went to the sort of almost I don't know what it is in America, but in the UK we basically made this movie a 12A, which is really unusual because normally PG-13 movies in America, when they hit the UK, normally become 15. So you have to be 15 to go and watch the movie. It's happened with Five Nights at Freddy's, Megan as well as another one, where in America it's PG-13, so pretty much anyone can go watch it. In the UK they made it a 15, but this one they made a 12A. But I'm really surprised. There's a lot of quite scary and quite aggressive like dinosaur attacks in this, which normally would have bumped it up to be the 15 level. Especially because some of the things that happen in this movie, we'll get into a bit in a bit, that are quite mature. So I thought that was a strange thing. So like some of the dinosaur attacks are quite violent. They tone down the blood from it, so you don't see a lot of blood, but you see the attacks happen. Like you see people being attacked in the street, getting ripped apart. The neighbour that lives next door, he's like on the roof, and there's like pterodactyl things coming at him, getting hold of him. But they do a clever thing where they sort of pan the camera up so you can't see what's happening to him. And there's other situations like the neighbour next door, when she goes next door and finds her dead on the floor, there's blood on the floor, but not too much blood, and not bloody footprints, but it's not over a lot of blood. So it must be how they got away with lowering it down to a 12A. As I said, I think there's still stuff missing from this movie. I would love it if they'd release like a director's cut that is maybe a higher rating, so we can see what was taken out, because I know there's going to be stuff taken out of this movie. Yeah, so there are also quite mature scenes. Like there's one sort of like if you know moment where the brother is under his sheets, he's got a Superman duvet on, and he's looking at sort of like underwear section of a catalogue. And we all know, if you're from the 80s and that sort of age, you know what that's used for, and they kind of don't show you what it's used for, but it's there. Later on you see two dinosaurs mating up against a house. And you focus on this scene for an abnormally long time, to where the mum and the dad are just watching it like, you know what they're doing, yeah, and they're sort of laughing. And then the mum's like, I want a photo of you next to it. So this is like, because their relationship's strained, because obviously they're kind of pre-divorce almost at this point, they have this moment where they kind of like bond together, and it's like, okay, because they're going through this trauma, and it's kind of bringing them together, and having to fight together to save their kids sort of thing. And as they're going through this trauma, they're going through this trouble, they're kind of reforming their relationship in a way. So there's a scene where he then goes and stands in front of the two dinosaurs that are kind of out, and he's just saying like his little like that smiley phone, and they say just Polaroid picture. Now I like the fact that the kind of like the dad reveals at one point that he knows that the wife wrote the book and he's read the book and he knows that she kind of wants to leave them and the family. She's like, well, I don't really want to do that, but she's unhappy. He's unhappy. He's kind of going through kind of like a depression because he's lost his job. He feels like he's not doing good enough for the family. He's trying to do harder, and that's kind of heartbreaking as well. But that they kind of like after all this dinosaur stuff's going on, they kind of bond together, and I think that's great. Now, there is a scene that happens that shocked the living hell out of me. The fact they went where they went with this scene is crazy. So again, we are major. Well, we've already spoiled loads anyway, but this is major spoilers now. That the dad, while protecting the wife, dies. So Ewan McGregor's character dies. He gets torn apart by a T-Rex. And it's a great scene because seconds before that happened, I was laughing. And then this happens and suddenly you're not laughing anymore. So the mum's being chased by the big T-Rex. They're all trying to run away from it. It's chasing them down. They're all trying to run away from it. I guess it looks like a T-Rex. It might not be. If you're a dinosaur expert, you know what it is. But to me, it's a T-Rex. And they're running away from it. It's chasing the boy, and the boy manages to get away. It starts chasing the mum because she distracts it. She's in like a porch, and the dinosaur's trying to get it. It's just too big to get in. It's slowly getting closer and closer to her. The dad comes along with a sledgehammer and just like cracks it in the back of the leg. The dinosaur turns around, and he just woofs, smacks the dinosaur in the jaw with the sledgehammer, and it kind of knocks the dinosaur out. And I laugh because the idea just knocked out a T-Rex is brilliant. And I was so on a high at laughing that when this next bit happens, it just made me go from up here happy to just down here in depression. Because like the dad, he goes to save the wife. Suddenly the dinosaur wakes up, grabs him by the leg, drags him, breaks his leg. He's like, ah, and then he just goes at him. And I thought they were going to save the dad somehow. I did not expect the dad to then be like eaten by the T-Rex. And I was just like, whoa. And the mum's like, oh my God, she sees it. She's like, and then she knows she's got to get her kids away. She gets the kids and drags them down the road and they're walking away. And they're kind of in shock as they're walking away. And the kid's like, what should we do? He's like, and the mum turns to him as a go at the kid, like, could you shut up, you seen what happened to your dad, sort of thing. And we're, as an audience, is in as much shock as anyone else. Because I went to see this with my two kids. One is age 10, one is age 5. They didn't get the impact that I got from the dad dying, but like everyone else in the audience kind of went, oh. And we all kind of just like weird, like, oh, moment where we were so shocked that this had happened, that this character had been killed off, just literally as we're heading to the third act of the movie. It came from nowhere. I expected the family to make it through to the end. But I was like, whoa, what is going on here? So then you got shocked. Around just a bit before that, so after the living with the shock from that, just a bit before that, they find the neighbour girl, the young girl that was private school educated, the boy kind of took a shine to. They find her and protect her. And you kind of feel like we're getting to a storyline because it seems like the daughter and the girl are kind of about to hit it off, sort of like they're both gay, but they never really delve into it because then you get the boy, the son, kind of look at him like, oh no, like he liked the girl, but now the sister's getting him. I thought they were going to dive more into that, and then that gets left. So again, another thing that I think was scenes that were cut somewhere. Then you get this bizarre scene where everyone's in the house, and the house has been balled up and that, but a snake thing gets in. It's like a slug snake. It's a really sort of, it's almost like a cross between a snake and a salamander. And it comes into the house slowly and it's silent. And you see the boy doing something, the snake comes in through the window, goes through the stairs, it goes down the stairs, goes round the corner, and you see everyone else in this room sort of standing like this, and the snake's sort of just going past it, and no one's noticing it. It's this big giant thing as well. And then you get where the snake's in the kitchen, it's about to kill the mum, and the boy sees it and shoots it with an arrow. So the snake turns and goes back up the stairs after the boy. The mum's then stabbing the crap out of it because she's worried about the boy. And the snake sort of disappears out of a window. And I was like, oh, more could have happened there, but it was still a decent scene. It's kind of a scene where you're kind of on edge. This film does a very good job, because it's only a 12A, of putting you on edge at some points, where you're thinking something's about to happen and you can feel it coming. Like the T-Rex, before the T-Rex shows up, they're all standing in a discussion. The T-Rex slowly starts walking down the alleyway towards them and gets really close before they notice it's there, which is quite cool. These dinosaurs are very quiet. It's not that they're roaring before they come and get you. This is more like a real predator would act. And I like this film. It's not like Jurassic Park where you go, rah, and then it comes after you. It's literally like it's stalking them and to get to them. And I thought that was great. So, yeah, the dinosaurs are fantastic in this movie, especially that weird slug snake thing. That was like disgustingly menacing. So then they work out that they get onto the roof and they see that there's a portal appearing in a house on top of a hill. So they have to get to the house on top of the hill, try and jump through the portal. And I thought this was a great thing because when you get to the house, it's a massive mansion house. And it turns out it's the woman that works in the library, our prehistoric botanist woman. And you see her in a doorway holding a gun with the door shut as they're walking through the house. And I thought, because we always seen the dad kill, I thought the mum's going to get shot or something. Yeah, you just felt it coming, like she's going to get accidentally shot by this librarian woman. And then it would be the kids left, I kind of thought that's where we were going with it. However, suddenly these like crocodile things appear and in the house. They're sort of hunting the family. And the mum's like about to make the arm. So she's like, right, when they come at me, kids, you run, get to that portal and jump through that portal. And I was like, oh my God, the mum's now going to die. It is going to happen. And then I remembered the woman being like, well, sooner or later she's going to come out. And she does. She comes out through the door, shoots the crocodile thing in the face so the family can escape. And then all the other crocodiles turn on her and kill the librarian woman with the gun, which was a real lovely sacrifice. And I thought, that's like amazing that she did that for that family. The family then get up on the roof. They've got to jump through the portal, which is appearing sort of like in the air. And you can see sort of like the future or their present, their old present, the 82 is there. So like, Anne Hathaway's right, you've got to jump. So the young girl, the one that's the one that they knew from like the previous family, is like, right, I'm just going to go. And she just jumps through the portal and makes it. So see on the other side and jumps through and makes it. Then you get the other family. All the family is standing like, oh, should we go? Right, ready? And the boy's like, I'll go first. And he jumps. And as he jumps, the portal closes. He just goes doof and hits the floor and possibly breaks his leg. He's like lying on the floor. Now, my 5-year-old son started laughing at him going, wah! And hitting the floor. He just started laughing, like giggling, laughing. And I was kind of like, and then I started laughing. As my other son, who's 10, he started laughing as well. And I remember thinking to myself, like, maybe we should be laughing at this bit because he's almost like made it, and now he's just on the floor. And I thought, oh my God, now he's going to die because this film, we don't know what's happening. Now the rules are disappearing. This film is a very original film when it comes to rules. All these rules are disappearing now. And I was just like, oh my God, what in the hell is this? What's going to happen now? And the boy's on the floor. Suddenly it's like, animal comes in to get him, a dinosaur comes in to get him. And his dog turns up to rescue him. And I'm like, oh, here we go. I'm probably going to tear up at this point because this emotion he was charged. Because one thing I'll say about this film is there's a dog in this film. You see at the start, it's a family dog. And they love this dog. Well, the boy loves this dog. It's his dog. And then when the dinosaur thing happens, the dog disappears. And I assumed it was eaten by a dinosaur. A bit later on, you see that dog once. I'd forgotten about the dog. And then you see it in the garden once. The boy goes out to try and find it. It's gone. Don't see it again. And I was like, this is weird, because I'm thinking, what is going on? Because we should have seen more of this dog. I feel like we keep forgetting the dog exists. And at the end of the film, the boy's laying on the floor, dinosaur's about to eat him, the dog comes from nowhere to rescue him. And I was like, wow. But it was enough time to be away from the dog that I couldn't remember the dog, if that makes sense. It was like I'd completely forgotten the dog existed. And normally I keep, in these films, in this situation, I keep thinking, oh, where's that dog? Where's that dog? But I forgot about it. And then when the dog comes in to save the day, it's brilliant, and he sort of helps fight off this thing. And then, like, I think it's a pterodactyl, because he tries to grab him, tries to take him up. The dog sort of fights it off and drags it back down. But it was a great scene, a like heroic dog scene. I do love a heroic dog scene in a movie. So then they all go back through the house, make it to the top, and they and they have to do the jump again. And this time they all jump together. And the one thing I know, owning a dog, is they all jump at the same time. The dog jumps with them. And my dog would not. My dog would be like, I'd jump off that roof and at the end of it. The dog don't think like people. The dog isn't going to think that's a wormhole. I need to get through it. He's just going to be like, why are they all jumping? Where have they gone? My dog would not have jumped with us. I'd have had to have picked up my dog, even though he's heavy. I'd have picked him up and jumped with him to get through that wormhole. They go through the wormhole and land in the swimming pool, and then they sort of get out of the swimming pool. The neighbour's like, what are you doing? And she's like, what year is this? She goes, 1982. And that's when, and then they go out and they find out they've actually gone back a bit to before the area disappeared. And then you get, I thought was really cleverly done. They don't tell you what's happening, but you kind of work out what she's going to do. So they realise that the people are in the town still, everyone's safe. So the daughter of whose parents were killed is the woman, the daughter that was private school educated, the neighbour. She goes running to the town trying to save her parents, and then they go to try and do the same to save their dad, because their dad died in the past. They now have a chance to save him because they're still down there in that town. So they're like, oh no, we've got to save him. And the mum's like, no, we don't have time. And then she has this idea, because the dad's a pizza delivery driver, so she orders a pizza. Well, as soon as she goes to look at her house, I was like, she's going to order the pizza. And she orders the pizza. The dad turns up, who's now alive, with a pizza, and they hug him and hold on to him, like won't let him go. And then you see the big thing happen, the town disappears. And it basically swaps. So a part of the past appears in the future, and a part of the present goes back in time. So that would be them would have gone back in time. And you're like, wow. And then you get like this sort of like 2 years later, and they're all talking about how there's like a news report about 2 years ago, a town disappeared and dinosaurs turned up, and this woman saved a lot of people. And then you find out that Anne Hathaway didn't just ring for a pizza, she called random neighbours and got them out of the town. So she rang them all up at night and was like, called up the librarian, said, you need to get out to the librarian. She saves her with the gun and risked her life for her. Calls the annoying neighbour next door, but I don't know why, because she didn't like the bloke anyway. And I'm sure there's someone else she could have called, but she for some reason calls him. That's what I mean. I think there's stuff missing. I think we're missing scenes. So he calls him. He's still alive in the future because he doesn't die from when the dinosaurs attack him. There's a few other characters that are sort of like alive because she phoned them and managed to get them out of the town. So she's like a hero. And I was like, that's great. There is one thing that I feel doesn't make sense, right? So the mum and the dad are together still. They haven't divorced, they've stayed together. The thing that doesn't make sense to me is the fact that the reason they sort of gelled back together in the dinosaur times is because they were going through the tragedy together, learning to care for each other again, protect each other. But that dad then didn't go back to have that experience. So he's still the same dad that was there in the 80s. So somehow, maybe it's just her telling the story was enough to make him sort of like thing. But that kind of threw me a little bit. You see him in the future having fun and that. But I was still kind of like, but a lot of people would have died. She couldn't have phoned everybody. And also I thought to myself, how did she have all their numbers? How did she have librarian woman's phone number to phone her and tell her to get back? Because this isn't like mobile phones with all the numbers in it. She is just doing this from memory in a phone box. And she has no money. So she's doing this, what they call in America, collect call, they call it in America. It's basically reverse the charges, we call it in England. But where you phone her up and this thing goes, oh yeah, reverse charge that. Is she just randomly like phone it? Like, how is she doing that? But it's a movie. We should forget these things. Some things you don't need to delve too much into because it would dry your brain like it did me. But yeah, but thoroughly this movie, I loved it. Started, I liked the ending. I liked the whole movie. I ain't gonna lie. This movie. So I took my kids to see the Spider-Man movie, the Tom Holland one. And there are a few moments in that movie where they zoned out. They were getting restless, getting fidgety, getting moving around. When we watched this movie, there was only one point in time when my 5-year-old got a bit restless and he sort of like sat himself on the floor, was looking around at like other things in the cinema. We did go to, actually, this was cool as well. My cinema do this parent and baby sort of showing screenings of movies where you can take in like toddlers and they keep the lights up a little bit and they have the sound on a bit lower. It was a great cinema experience if you've got kids, especially if you've got young kids. Because I took mine because it was an early show and I wanted to see it early. So I went into that showing. Never been into the top parent baby showing before. How great was it, the idea of having the lights up a little bit and the sound down a bit? Because it was great. Because my son, because he's 5, sometimes says the cinema's too loud and sometimes covers his ears. Didn't happen in this screen. It was fantastic. But yeah, so we saw the Spider-Man film. He was fidgety quite a lot. So was the 10-year-old. Got a bit fidgety, a bit restless in that. This film, they were glued to the screen the entire way through, except for that little bit my 5-year-old. They were watching, they had fun, they enjoyed this movie. Now I am going to do a little bit with their point of view in a minute, so I will wrap up the video in a second, but I want to do their point of view, what they thought of the movie. Because I'm going to sort of add that to this video, so if you keep watching you'll see what they thought of it. So if you have got kids, you think about taking your kids to watch it, listen to what they have to say. But yeah, thoroughly good movie. It's Jurassic Park level threats. There's a lot of threat in this film, a lot of scary, not scary scenes, but sort of impending doom sort of scenes. A few like not so much jumpy moments, but a few moments that could be jumpy, as opposed to some kids and that. But this is a film you could watch with your family. I mean, I took mine to cinema again, 5-year-old and a 10-year-old. Both like movies. Both watch movies that some people might say are a bit too mature for them at their age at home. We watch them together. But I do it in a safe environment. I've always been good doing sort of these things in safe environments, talking to them about the movies and stuff, explaining that they're not real, explaining it to like stories and stuff like that. So that's how I do it with my kids. So they're used to watching sort of mature films, but they sat through this film, loved it. This is like, if you watch a Jurassic Park of your children, it's that level sort of like threat, of gore, of scariness. So if they can watch things like Jurassic Park, it's good. This is kind of like a nowadays gateway sort of horror movie. Like when we were kids, we had things like Jurassic Park, we had Gremlins, those sort of films where they're not out and out mega horror movies, but they're kind of almost like child-friendly horror movies. It's the only way I can describe them, that don't go too far. They're just there enough to make your kid feel a little bit scared, a little bit, oh my God, like, but not terrify them. A great movie. I'd say it's a family movie. As Jurassic Park's a family movie, this to me is a family movie, and I cannot wait to get this on DVD and watch it again. But I'm longing for some sort of director's cut. There must be a director's cut of this movie, because I feel there's stuff cut out. Maybe test screenings or something, they were like, oh, we've got to take that bit out. No one's responding to that. Maybe this film was long, because this was an hour and 40 minutes, I think. There could easily have been an extra 20 minutes in this movie to fill in a few gaps. And I'm wondering if that was removed, maybe to bring the rating down. Who knows? But anyway, let me know what you thought of this movie. Now, I'm going to end the video here, but if you want to watch what my kids thought of it, keep watching the video. So thank you very much for watching this. I really appreciate it, and I'll see you guys soon for more movie reviews. I'll just do trailer reactions. I'll do all kinds of talking stuff. I'm doing Halloween stuff, so I like to go and look at Halloween stuff in store. So if you liked it, please subscribe to the channel. Have a look through the list of whatever stuff I do before you subscribe if you want. You might enjoy more stuff what I've got to say. Thank you for watching. I'll see you very, very soon. Bye. And watch out for those wormholes and dinosaurs. Bye. Alright, so I want to get the kids' perspective on the end of Oak Street. Now, obviously I've given you my perspective, now it's time for their perspective. So, did you enjoy the movie?
Yeah.
Did you think it was more exciting and fun than the Spider-Man movie you watched the other day?
It was more entertaining.
It was more entertaining?
This one was kind of fun.
Yeah.
I liked it there.
So
I know it's kind of
It was
fun.
actually quite funny.
What was your favourite thing about the movie?
What do you mean?
What was your favourite thing about the movie? Was it the fact there was the dinosaurs with the family?
I know.
Yeah.
When he fell up the flip.
When he fell off when he tried to jump through the portal and fell down and hit the floor.
Yeah.
You did laugh at that, even though I don't know if it's meant to be funny, but you laughed when in the bit where he jumps off the roof to go through the portal, and the portal closes and he just falls onto the floor. He laughed a lot of that bit.
They're kind of funny.
There's another funny bit that happened in the movie, which was quite rude, but I think you understood the two dinosaurs on the house.
Yeah.
And Reggie was just like, because like Brody, no clue what that scene was about. Just like, oh look, there's two dinosaurs. Reggie was kind of like, oh my God. That was quite funny. Right, okay, so did you like the funny side of it? Did you like there's some funny bits to it?
Yeah.
Yeah. What do you think of the dinosaurs? Did they look good?
Yeah, I like the bidded one.
They were
The
kind of
red
like-
one.
Like more messy and scary than Jurassic Park ones, didn't they? They tried to make them look more like real dinosaurs, and they had feathers instead of like scales. A lot of them, which is quite good.
Dinosaur. Wow.
Yeah, dinosaurs. What do you think of that weird snake thing?
With that
got-
glob thing.
That glob sort of like slug-like snake thing that slithered into the house. What do you think of that?
That was
Weird.
kind of yuck.
That was kind of yuck, wasn't it? That was kind of crazy. Trying to think of things to talk about that you guys would.
That
think
was
about.
just a random thing.
Yeah.
That literally
Yeah, I
terrified
don't
me
think that
when
was
it
really
literally
a point.
broke in the house.
What did you think about when the dad died? Was you shocked by that?
Yeah.
I did not see that coming, because there's a moment before that where I laughed when he hit the dinosaur in the face with the sledgehammer, knocked it down, and like you thought was knocked out. I laughed 'cause I thought that was hilarious, the fact he just sledgehammed the dinosaur. Then it grabbed him, and then it bloody ate him. And I was like, I thought he was going to make it to the end, like they were all going to get out. What about you guys?
Yeah, I thought it was going to make it to the end.
Yeah.
No.
And what do you think of the end? How like they went back to 1982?
I wish
I
that
like
didn't
when they
actually happen.
landed in the pool.
Well, they fell into the pool at the end. Yeah, that was quite funny.
Yep.
And what about the dog? Do you think the dog could have been in it more?
Yeah, I want it to be like so big and make it the dog more bigger.
You want the dog to be in it more bigger with the dog?
Yeah, like the dog
He
big.
kind of saved the dad at the end, though, didn't he? He saved him at the end,
Yeah.
which was good. What about the weird sort of like bit with the boy that beat him up? Like that was kind of weird, wasn't
I
it?
feel like they should have had a dinosaur ate him.
Yeah, there should have been more with that. I feel like, do you think stuff was cut out of this film?
Yeah,
I think stuff was cut out of this
definitely.
film. I feel like it's missing bits, like we're missing parts of the movie, I think.
Yeah, same.
Maybe they'll bring out like a director's cut of all of the extra stuff put back in. That would be good if we could see more of it.
Yeah,
Like,
I
the
want
movie
to watch
with
it
the
again,
extra
Dad.
parts.
You want to watch it again? So would you buy this on DVD when
Yeah.
it come out?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Can
It is a
keep
great...
watching it
I would
every
love
day.
to see this film. What about a sequel? Would you like to see another one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would like to see a different family.
Yeah.
Maybe those two, no, the ones that the two brothers that beat him up. Maybe do a movie from their point of view.
Yeah.
So it's like them back in time, and then them like bumping into him. You get to see that bit in there. It maybe fills out more of the story. I don't know.
And the boy who got tamed just punched him in the face.
He did. He just called up and punched him in the face, didn't he? So he hit him. But anyway, so it's a big win for you guys, yeah.
Yeah, I liked it.
There we go. We all like that
I
film.
liked it.
So the kids
It's
liked
so
the
funny.
film, and it kept their attention. They were watching it the whole way through and quite enjoyed it. So that's good.
And I said I looked forward to it.
You didn't fall asleep. You just sat on the floor when you got a bit bored in the middle of it.
Now I ran.
But then when the
on-
dinosaurs come out, you were like, well, hey.
Yeah.
Do you think the dinosaurs look better in this or Jurassic Park?
Jurassic Park in the back.
Jurassic Park is still the winner, isn't it?
Yeah.
They do look better in Jurassic Park. Anyway, we prefer the myth of what a dinosaur looks like than
Can
the
you get
reality.
the
wish they had,
dinosaur from the
um,
look?
T-Rex.
They kind of did. There was that big one that chased it because what killed the
Yeah,
dad,
it's-
wasn't it? Was that
I
a
wish
T-Rex?
they had.
That was a T-Rex, wasn't it? That was a Spinosaurus.
That's a Spinosaurus.
I'd like to see more dinosaurs fighting dinosaurs as well. We never really saw that, did we?
No.
Yeah.
Anyway, guys, thank you for watching this. I'm glad you've got their perspective now, and we'll see you very soon for more stuff, won't we?
Uh-huh.
So bye.
Bye.
Bye bye. See you next week.
Bye.
Actually,